not adjust your computer screen. It's your mind we're changing. Stories set to a theme. Think outside. Universe Box.
When I ask you for help, I'll say pretty please. When I ask you for help, I'll say pretty please. When I ask you for help, I'll say pretty please. Pretty please, pretty please, pretty please. When I've made a mistake, I say excuse me. When I've made a mistake, I say excuse me. When I've made a mistake, I say excuse me. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. When people are so nice, I will say thank you. When people are so nice, I will say thank you. When people are so nice, I will say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
From the heavens to your ears, this is Universe Box, and is this the right fork? What do you mean I can't put my elbows on the table? I'm Bill Meeks.
And I'm Anne-Marie DeSimone.
And welcome back to another lovely little Thursday night shenanigans here. Every Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. EST, we come to you live at live.universebox.com with the full chat room there. Hello to the chat. We'll say hi to the chat. Hi, chat. I see Scotty Rowland and Becca and Angel and Anne-Marie sitting right next to me. So, wait, Anne-Marie, why don't we go ahead and get started and find out what's in the box today? What's in the box today? What could it be? What could it be now? Manners. Yes, this week we're talking about manners. We'll veg out in the idiot box to learn what we're doing wrong. Then we'll look in the school box to learn how to leave an impression at a dinner party. We'll teach you social media etiquette in the toolbox. And we're also going to update you on mismanners in the history box. Then finally, we'll pull out some questions you submitted through the idea box. A lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff.
Super duper.
Let me just keep hitting my mic. How's that?
No, it's fine. The audio listeners need to hear the box, right?
They have to know that the box is actually happening.
Exactly. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started with the history box here. Now, teaching proper manners used to be a cottage industry, if you guys didn't know. So we're going to take a look back at two of the biggest names in politeness from the 1950s, starting with Miss Manners, Anne-Marie.
Exactly.
So if you would like to go ahead and take the reins.
If you would like to pull up the right website, that would be great.
Is this it?
The one
there
that says Miss Manners. Yes. Okay, so Miss Manners, you may have heard of her. She has a series of books, and ebooks. You can get them on her website or Amazon and all that good stuff, telling you, how to raise perfect children. And there's actually some more modern topics, like about you can't endlessly text and things like that.
All good advice.
All good advice. All good things. All good things. She still has a regular newspaper column, and there is a spot, on the page that we have pulled up, where you can submit questions, and since they get a lot, they don't actually respond to them personally, but that's where she gets the questions for her column.
Here, I'm putting one in right now.
Okay, what are you asking?
Is it polite to only look at chat when you are co-hosting a podcast? And I'm going to email a copy of this to our address just because, and boom.
There we go. Boom. You never know. We'll never know that it's been answered.
Because we'll never look at it.
Right. But I don't know. I always just think, I don't think I've ever really known the actual Miss Manners, but I always think, Miss Manners wouldn't like that and stuff like that. So we had to pull her in.
Definitely.
Next, please.
Oop.
Is Emily Post.
Emily Post.
Sort of the forefront of, she is etiquette, basically, or was, rest in peace, She was a New York debutante and published her first etiquette book in 1922. So she was really kind of on the forefront of educating people in that. And right when charm schools and stuff were really starting to be a thing. When she passed away, or probably a little bit before, in the 60s, her family sort of took over. It's now the Emily Post Institute. And 5 generations of Posts have been involved. There's like 6 or 7 of them now that currently work for it, which I thought was kind of cool. There's at least 25 books. You can search an etiquette encyclopedia on the website, and they have a bunch of different seminars that you can be like, hey, I'd like to hold this children's seminar, and for a fee, you can do that. It's also neat because they have a lot of modern etiquette there. There's tips about, again, texting tips. It tells you how to show thanks with American Sign Language. Mixed families at weddings. Basically, you've got the mom and the stepmom and who sits where and all the precedent with that, because that's just more and more important, really. And even how to transform an outfit from business casual during the day to a holiday party at night. So it's really neat to see.
I would also say I see a really nice etiquette tip in our chat room, too. Tondagasa says, don't type in all caps at the dinner table. Definitely good advice.
Oh, very good advice. Very good advice, Tonda. So there's your Emily Post. Okay. There's actually a lot on that website if you have a couple of hours to kill.
It definitely looks super in-depth and everything, for sure.
Next, we have the Wendy Ward Charm Book.
Oh, yes.
Okay, this is kind of cool. Scroll down a little. It was Montgomery Ward, the department store, offered charm schools basically in a room upstairs a couple hours once in a while.
You got to have a couple side businesses going.
Apparently, because, department stores are not enough. But those were in the 60s and 70s. And this article that we have, they interviewed a former charm school person. And they basically said they learned how to do their hair, paint their nails, and be polite. So not all of the advice in the book is awful. To be honest, some of it, however, is ridiculous. Like that part of a woman's job is to make a man feel manly by allowing him to do things for her and to ask him questions about him and ask questions about him. And, don't flaunt. It's actually on the page that you're on. Don't flaunt that you are a woman, basically. Which is hilarious.
This means letting them open doors and help you because they are men and wonderful, not because they're better or they better or else.
Right. It also, I think it's also in there, it says wearing tight dresses and low-cut sweaters have nothing to do with being a woman and make everyone uncomfortable.
Definitely.
I've known many men who think that tight dresses and low-cut sweaters are very comfortable.
Well, I was going to say that the people wearing them might not find them very comfortable, though. Like, depending. Because, they're more for aesthetics than for comfort.
Not always. Some people just like
how to talk to boys.
Oh, yeah. There's lots of advice. There's even advice about losing and gaining weight because, well, back then, a slightly larger woman was, what you want. You didn't want the size 0 stick figure waif.
They called them dumplings?
I think that was being polite.
Yes.
To call them a dumpling. The other one's a string bean. But some other advice. And a lot of the weight loss tips are actually not bad. Like stop eating before you're full. Stay busy so that you stay away from the fridge. Stuff like that. The gaining ones, however, are a little ridiculous. Basically, if it's cold, dress warm. What does that have to do with gaining weight?
Yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Also, chewing lets off nervous energy, so eat chewy foods. These are gaining weight. I don't understand. Another one, I believe it says, "Don't worry."
Don't worry. Be happy.
Just
now.
don't worry about it. And let's see. Oh, again with the phone, never call a boy. Ever. Even if he says, "Hey, call me," don't call him because that is social suicide. It straight up says social suicide.
I would have found that helpful when I was in high school and everything. If the girl would call me instead of me having to call the girl, that didn't happen too much, in the 90s.
Hey, guess what? The guys didn't call all the time either. the times of instant messenger. At the very end of the book, and in all caps, we get this lovely piece of advice, though. Don't die and don't go steady. Either one will take you out of circulation.
Amazing.
It is comparing having a steady boyfriend to death.
Well, it does say here, point number 5 there, says girlfriends are very important. They make life fun and interesting. Just don't get caught in the never apart trap. I think that's good advice. One piece of advice translates from this book to the modern day.
But there is a few things I've learned from Charm School and Miss Manners and Emily Post.
Yes, quite interesting. And you can find links to all of that, including all of the scans from the Charm book and everything at universebox.com in the show notes for this episode, episode 10. We're in double digits, Manners.
Wow.
I know, right?
10.
It's insane. So I guess we should go ahead and get into the Idiot Box here. Now, in the Idiot Box, we sit back and make fun of films and shows from the past. This week, we're looking into the past to learn how to be decent human beings. First up is 1947's Are You Popular?, followed by the 1954 classic Habit Patterns. You can find links to both in our show notes, but let's go ahead and start the show. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Are you popular? Are you popular?
No, never, ever, ever. Apparently, if you shiver, you burn calories.
Interesting.
So, things I've learned today.
I never heard that.
Neither have I, but Angel tells.
It's a nice lunchroom.
Popularity. What is it made of? How does a person get to be popular with lots of people and have a few close friends, too?
That's a good question.
Let's watch and see what makes people like one person and not another.
Hey, Jerry, there's that new girl in our math class.
Here's that new girl in our math class.
yes.
He looked really Gomer. She even had like the big like
Why?
Adam's apple.
You know her?
Not very well. I wish I did. I don't know what it is, but there's
They're all
something
drinking
about
milk
you
with
alone.
straws out of glass bottles.
Well,
That's cool.
She always looks nice to start with. Yeah.
I'm just gonna stare across the room
With some
for
of the
hours.
Weird characters in this place.
Yoo-hoo!
Jenny thinks that she has the key to popularity, parking in cars with the boys at night. When
Oh,
Jerry brags about taking
Jenny.
out, he learns that
Is
she
this
dates all the
8675309,
boys,
Jenny?
and he feels
Might
less
be.
important. What about Jenny?
Oh, hi,
Does
Jenny.
that make her really popular?
She's popular
Boys
with
and
all the
girls like her?
boys.
Is she welcome to
And
join
3 of the
this
girls,
group?
too.
Oh, hey.
Hi, Betty, Ellie. You can
See,
rest
Betty and
aside
Ellie.
for me for a minute.
There's 2 of the
That's
3.
fantastic.
Say, Wally, how's the play coming along?
Oh, okay, Jenny.
Oh, okay,
Here,
Jenny.
Jenny.
No,
Thanks, Jerry.
girls who
You're-
park in cars.
What do you think
are
of that
not
sweater?
really
Do you like that
popular.
sweater?
I actually do
Not
like
even
that
with the
sweater.
boys they park with. Not
Seems
when they
almost a
meet
little
at
bulky.
school or elsewhere.
Well, they told you not to wear anything
Especially
tight.
for her being the popular
Nothing
girl.
like being Miss Popularity.
Yeah.
Miss Popularity.
Miss Popularity is not a good thing.
That's what they called
Now,
me in
how
high
come this
school.
one girl is sitting with
Now,
all the
there's
boys?
girl that'd really get my vote.
Let's ask her
I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like that's a little
Mm-hmm.
weird.
Maybe
Now,
she's
why
like
do they
the-
invite Carolyn to join their group when
The
Jenny
friend that
wasn't
everybody,
welcome?
nobody
Is it
is
because they
attracted
like the
to,
way
but
she
they
looks
use her to
and
bring in other girls.
because
Or
she
it's a little
seems as
sister.
interested in
Could be.
girls as in boys? Because
Although she
they've
looks
heard
about
no
40.
scandal about her?
Little bit. Well, my
Everybody,
ankle's
don't
bad.
you, Carolyn?
Working with boys.
My goodness.
Betty's leading our class play. Oh, yes. I looked in on it so yesterday. We're all in on it in one way or another. I'm on the costume committee.
And Jerry and I are stagehands.
2 among
Nice.
a dozen or so.
Theater kids.
How about
Yes.
you, Wally? What
Theater
do you
theater
fit in
theater
all this?
girls
Oh,
tend
I'm
to
a
be
one-man
to be
team that
pretty
does a job
popular
with no
when I
glory
was in
attached.
school.
I
Generally.
got all the
Really?
props
Yeah, but I
together.
mean theater boys
Boy,
were
what
too.
a
It was just
headache.
kind of like it was a
You
big
sound like
popularity
you need a helper.
fest.
Could I lend a hand?
Could I
Would
lend
you?
a hand?
I mean, would you really?
Sure, I'd like it. I don't know anything about props, but I could learn.
Yes, Angel
Oh, I
mentions
can
that all
walk
these
through
old
Carolyn.
films from the 40s to 60s seem to have the
Scotty.
same narrator. What's that?
I can't really say it.
Okay. I see. No, I think that's fair.
Okay.
Scotty says the narrator was my grandpa joking. My grandpa was an old racist bastard.
Oh, that'd be fine, Wally.
Wynn said it's the Cold War era. Weird girl's a
Maybe I'll
spy.
take Carolyn to the dance Saturday night.
Well, better go ahead and ask her if we
What
can
about
work
that
out a
guy's
double date.
sweater?
Saturday.
Is that a sweater?
Yeah, it is. It's like some sort of weird,
Like a
like,
crazy tattoo.
tribal pattern or something.
Oh, pattern. We've got multiple bobbies.
Hello.
Now, kids, if you don't know, this is a
Oh,
phone.
This
It
is
plugs
a
into
tele-
a wall.
Yes.
This is
Like to
how
go to the-
phones
There's a
used to
cord.
be before you had
Saturday
these
And then go over to
jimmies,
Town
these guys
maybe.
right here.
Well, yes, I...
Or if you'd rather go with the gang on a skating party and weenie roast, we'd have to leave earlier for that, though.
He said
we get
weenie.
home at a decent time.
Oh, the skating sounds like loads of fun.
Loads of fun.
That sounds far less threatening
Wally
than
has used a lot of
one-on-one
common
time.
sense in putting the invitation this way. It shows he has thought about what Carolyn might like, and he has implied his price
Silly
range,
Bobby.
so
Don't-
she will have some idea of what he can
Oh.
afford when she makes her
Is
choice.
this guy Bobby or is the guy in the chat room Bobby? Hi,
Carolyn
Bobby.
likes it better this way too.
Bobby.
It's
Bobby.
doing the
Bobby.
girl no
Oh, we have
favor
two
to leave
Beccas
it
and two
entirely
Bobbies.
up to her.
Because they keep
It
putting
puts
me
her
in
on
for
the
school.
spot.
All right, Wally. On Saturday at 5 then.
Okay.
Bye.
I think
Well,
basic
that
the
phone
basic
call didn't go on for hours.
gist, if you missed it,
A pretty
was
sensible
okay.
attitude
Both of
toward
these people are
telephone
lying to each
conversation.
other and playing games,
Uh-huh.
and that's exactly how you
Carolyn
want to do
keeps
it.
a date
Uh-huh.
calendar. Not a bad
Look at that
idea.
calendar. That's a
She'll
big
never
My
have
calendar.
the
grandpa had that
embarrassment of
one.
forgetting a date
It's like what
or
teenage
being
girl has
ready
that kind of
an hour
calendar?
too late.
Would you like me to get my planner?
Sure. Are you a
That's
teenage
good
girl?
note to write yourself.
I
Any
used
night,
to be.
but
First thing in
especially
the
when you're
planner,
getting ready for
become a
date.
teenage girl again.
Yes.
There. You too can do a manicure, Ellie.
Bobby's popular.
I might even know what to wear it with tonight if I only knew if Bill's dug up transportation to the dance. You sure he knew to phone you here at my
He doesn't
house?
care about your
I told
jewelry.
him 3 times. I'll have to be getting home to dinner pretty soon.
Oh, do you then?
Take my advice. Think twice before you start going
Are those
steady.
dogs in the
Don't you
wallpaper?
ever
Oh
go
no,
out
those are
with anyone
flowers.
else at all? Nope. Well, don't you ever want to? On nights like this, I do. I never.
They actually have some pretty interesting camera shots in here, like they're shooting her through the mirror,
Yeah.
which is hard to do because, you know, the camera's going to show up in the mirror. Sorry, Scotty, for setting
Hello?
off your Google Now when I said okay.
Oh, hello, Jerry.
He better not be canceling on her.
Oh, the props are coming along all right.
Oh, no
That's
one else
good.
can make it.
Hey, Carolyn, how about a date?
Oh,
Oh.
Well,
Oh, this is a
I
different
don't-
guy.
I don't know, Jerry.
Oh.
she's popular.
When did you have in mind?
Well, what are you doing tonight?
I'm awfully sorry, but I have a date for tonight, Jerry. Tomorrow? No, I'm sorry.
And she's like, I wish I was that
I
popular.
wish I had
well,
these
call me early
problems.
next
She's
week,
like all
Jerry.
slouched down in the chair too.
Okay, Carolyn. Thanks a lot, just the
And these are
same.
payphones.
Goodbye.
They used to have these in restaurants
They
and
still have some. I've
guess.
seen them.
occasionally.
Can you imagine that, Ellie? He wanted a date for tonight.
Sounds like you're asking her so late went over like a lead balloon, brother.
Sounds like you asking her so late, like a
Let's see what
red
else we can do
balloon.
about tonight.
Maybe you should ask the girl who's
No,
slightly
it
less
isn't too
attractive
promising
and looks
for
like she's
Jerry.
40 years old.
But
They're
after all,
friends.
it's no
Maybe you
compliment
could
to
go
any
on a
girl.
double
Wait,
date.
did he
So
just
late,
pull out
she
his
thinks she's the
planner?
very last resort.
Or are they reading
And
in a
sometimes
restaurant?
a girl likes a chance
Possible.
to get ready
He pulled
for
out
a
his
date.
pocket Shakespeare.
His pocket.
Kids in the 40s were weird. Pretty girl problems. Yeah.
What is she wearing?
Hello, Wally. Come on in.
What is that hat?
Gee, look at y'all.
This
Already right on
reminds me of
time,
like
too.
a
It's
old
good deal.
Thanks.
theater like
Mother,
living
are
room
you
set,
busy?
which I'm sure it
Yes.
is.
Mother,
Nice to meet
father.
my father. Dad.
She's already holding his
This is
hand. They
Wally
haven't even
Johnson.
gone on a date.
Well, hello, Wally.
His ungloved hand too.
Yeah,
Oh.
Very risque
So
in
they
the
were
40s.
engaged?
Yeah,
Wally.
basically.
That's right, Mrs. Ames. How do you do?
They're married now.
Well, it's nice meeting you. Oh, excuse me a second. I forgot my scarf. I'll be right back.
Listen here, you little punk. You touch one hair on my daughter's head, I'm gonna wrap this newspaper around your head and call you paper mache Bobby.
I tricked him into taking me out tonight. I understand you're having a little trouble with the props or the play.
See, in the mom has to trick the dad into taking her out on a date too. You'd think they once they were married they'd drop the games.
We
Yeah.
couldn't find any place.
Don't play games, kids.
Here I am, all set.
Where's your scarf?
Oh, Carolyn, I
I
made
think
some
she's
brownies
holding
today.
it.
Oh, I
Maybe
thought it
you
was
and Wally
gloves.
would like them when you get back. There's some milk in the icebox too, isn't there? How does that sound?
Gee, that sounds good.
Gee, great
We'll
milk
take you up on it,
cookies.
Mrs. Ames. Thanks.
Carolyn
take your
and
coat
her
off or
mother have
anything.
Found one way a girl can repay a boy for entertaining her. A bite to eat at her house will
Oh,
save
my.
him money.
Oh, okay. I thought that was
She'll
gonna
bring
go in a
another
whole
couple
different
home.
direction.
That would be fun.
She's popular.
Be home?
We'll be home before 11, Mother.
Wally and Carolyn are saved the embarrassment of the argument about coming in at night. That was settled before Wally arrived. The hour was decided after considering such things as where Carolyn and Wally are going on their date, whether tomorrow is a school day, and how many dates she has had recently.
Do you have your key,
Wow.
How many dates?
The family knows Carolyn will stick to her word.
dear? All right. Have fun,
Sure
you
she
two.
will. This is one of those
Take
ones
good
that was
care
done
of
for
her,
the
Mr.
parents.
James. Bye.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about your kids. They'll do
Goodbye.
exactly
Goodbye.
what they say.
Exactly.
Wally felt at ease with Carolyn's parents.
At
and will
first
be
I thought
eager
they
to
walked
return
out and
to
it
her
was all
home.
like green grass outside. I was like,
They
why are they
like
going
him,
ice
too.
skating?
He is proud to be with Carolyn because she looks well.
I'm gonna
is
throw some
friendly with
snow at you,
everyone.
Bobby.
So wait, are they
And is
walking
considerate of
today?
their
Wally.
feelings.
His name is
Wally.
She
Wally.
likes
Sorry.
him for these same reasons.
I've renamed him
and
Bobby.
also because he is fun to be with. Home, parents, and personality all help boys and girls to
Home,
be
parents, and
popular.
personality.
Wow.
I feel like I'm gonna be popular.
I'm not.
You're not?
No.
Is that
I
okay?
never listened to my parents.
Next.
Whoa!
There we go. Sorry about that, folks. Second one was a little louder.
A little louder.
Warn them in the chat room.
It's more fun if they discover it on their own.
Yeah, this one's called Habit Patterns, and it's from 1954. And this one's more about manners.
Oh, she's so sad.
I wish I had good manners.
Oh.
Man, she is just like bawling, like
It's a
retching
little
shops
late
there.
for tears, isn't it, Barbara? Even though you didn't know it was going to happen
Jeez.
today, you've still had your whole life to prepare for it.
It's a little late for tears,
Of course,
Barbara.
you've gotten into the habit of not being prepared.
Oh my.
And now it's a
Jeez,
little
lady.
Well, I'm afraid to know what you're not prepared for.
You're a
Kinda
creature
cruel.
of habit, Barbara. We all are. Unfortunately, not all of your habits are good ones.
Ooh.
This was how your
Most
day
of all,
started.
crying behind a door.
Started wrong. Your neighbor, Helen, is a creature of habit, too.
You see,
But she
Helen's a
got
good
all
girl.
along
Helen.
off. Because, Barbara, that's what
She's
she
not
really had
stupid
in
like
mind
you,
when she
Barbara.
said it.
She's capable.
She got up to her alarm, Barbara.
She
Helen
wears a
has
frumpy
trained
robe,
herself to know
Barbara.
what she's going to do, in what order,
She's not
and where
crying.
the things are to do it with. She really doesn't have to think about it. She already knows what clothes she's going to wear
She's
today.
perfect, Barbara.
She is
You'll never
perfect.
be.
As
You'll
it
never
turned
be
out,
this
it was a
good.
special day for Helen, too.
Oh, Helen.
But she makes a habit of being ready for special days.
Jeez.
She starts by having a place for things.
It's like,
You
and
didn't watch
keeping
this
them
ahead,
there.
did you?
no, not at all. I knew they were doing sort of a Goofus and Gallant kind of thing, but that was about it.
She uses taste in selecting her clothes.
So you're saying
But
Barbara
more than
doesn't?
that, she keeps them clean and mended. And she's able to match the right
She
skirt
makes sure
with the
she's
right
beautiful
sweater.
every morning, unlike you, Barbara.
She found Barbara a little prettier than Helen.
Barbara's behind that door. She's trapped in the
Ah,
closet.
Wynn has seen this before.
Nice.
This was
learn
going to
nothing.
be a special day for you. But you hadn't gotten very far with your preparations for it.
Is this Helen or?
This is
Was your
Barbara.
whole family
Barbara.
asleep?
Oh.
No, your mother was up.
Uh-oh.
Had been
But
for
she's
an
stupid
hour.
too, Barbara.
Barbara! Barbara, get up. You'll be late for school.
Your mother's British for some
Does she
reason.
have to
You
do
can't
this
even have an
every
American
morning, Barbara?
mother, Barbara.
Barbara,
Get
do
with
you
it.
hear me?
Barbara, do you
If your
hear
mother
me?
stopped acting like a second alarm clock for even one day, you'd probably think it was a dirty...
Pete's sake, I hear you. I'm up.
You didn't seem at all appreciative.
Pete's sake.
Even if you're
Who's
not
Pete?
really well-mannered, you could make a habit of being civil.
Yeah, actually, you know what?
She can't find
I
anyone.
agree with the
Mother
narrator.
called you.
Barbara does look pretty frumpy
Little
here.
lies are such a firm foundation.
Yeah, her hair's
for
like all
big
like-
ones.
She just got out of
You
bed.
started your day
Helen
with
looks
no
fine.
plan at all.
Helen is on
Helen-
medication.
Helen
Looking
looked
for
like
your
she had spent like
hairbrush?
4 hours in a
Can't
beautician's
remember
chair.
where you left it?
Wow.
You forgot other important things today.
Helen would have a better beret. Beret, sorry. Barrett.
You meant to fix that collar, but you've gotten into the habit of putting things off.
Oh,
There are so many
jeez.
things you plan to
Helen
do
would have
this
never
coming
broken the collar to
Saturday
begin
or
with.
the one after that.
Barbara.
Let's see. You found the algebra notebook you lost.
And you put it back.
The ski pants you meant to put away in the chest. The afghan you started to knit last summer.
She's going
Why did she
algebra
give me-
skiing.
And, oh yes, the sweater you were looking for.
See, like, I actually think her room looks pretty neat. Like,
Yeah.
like we're not going to turn the cameras around on my office right now,
Oh,
but
she just looked at the clock.
yeah, this is
She's in
definitely
trouble now.
this is definitely a Barbara
You decided
office.
to cover the spots on your sweater with a scarf. You often do that. But you can't forget that the spots are there. If you had a habit plan for your mornings,
Oh my.
you might get off to a decent start someday.
I try to have habit plans in all areas of my
Helen
life.
has a habit plan, and it includes a healthy breakfast and a pleasant word with her
Cardigan.
parents.
Nice.
Cardigan.
And milk?
All three always enjoyed
Well, let's see. She's
Mr.
probably
Elliott's
got sausages,
comments on the
pancakes,
news.
eggs, toast, a little bowl of cereal, and some milk.
It was time to get started
Some
for
bacon,
office
some
and
sauce.
school.
Bacon and sausage.
Helen's
grits.
dad would drop her on the way
grits.
downtown.
And a pound of butter.
And who could ask for a nicer way to go to school?
What high school kid wants their dad to drop 'em off?
Helen's dad loves her, Barbara. Your dad
Barbara,
doesn't
your
love
dad
you.
doesn't.
Your dad hasn't even appeared in this show yet. Barbara.
Your brother was ready,
Angel.
but your father couldn't wait for you.
She feels like
Or you could have driven to
Yeah,
school
Angel
with
says
him.
I feel like I'm watching an
He
old
used
school
to
film
enjoy
about
that
myself.
drive, too.
Are you Barbara or Helen, Angel?
Your eggs were cold this morning, but you had no time to be picky about food or to think about your diet.
Oh,
No time for milk.
You just
nothing
ate
to
a
say
pound
good
of raw
morning.
bacon and ran out the door.
No time for manners.
And she has a unibrow too,
You
Barbara.
made a pretty picture with your rumpled skirt, your spotted sweater, and your
She
hair
can't even kiss
in
her
a
mom
tizzy.
right. Freaking Barbara.
run, run!
You know,
You're gonna fall.
All your neighbors
And Angel
knew
says
how
she was
late
definitely
it was
Barbara.
when you went by at your regular
Well, sorry
dog
for all this
trot.
cruel talk, but the narrator set the tone.
You
We're just
were
following
late for
it.
school this morning, but then you're almost always late, and you're
Jeez.
guilty about it.
She feels
More so because your lateness is habitual.
She's
You're
And all your
class.
with a bad
And all the people in your
habit.
class hate you.
And the longer
And
you
so does
stick
your
with the
teacher.
habit,
And so does the
deeper
janitor.
rut
Everyone
gets.
hates you, Barbara.
When
And
you
so does
saw
the janitor,
Helen, you
played by
suddenly
Stan
felt
Lee.
envious. But more than that, you felt a distaste for your sloppy ways.
You know, I'm just going to pretend that
knew
this
you
is
could
an
do
origin
something
story
about
from
them if
Barbara,
only-
of Barbara from
I
Gotham.
knew it was coming.
That wasn't a happy
Barbara.
moment, was it?
Barbara!
Or do you always drum with your fingers?
Oh,
Ooh, throwing shade.
man.
Throwing
Lots of shade.
shade. I do like that little thing she has around her neck, though.
It's
nice.
called a scarf.
It's the first good thing Barbara's
You
done
were
all
just chatting away
show.
with
But it's
Helen
covering
when
a
it
spot.
happened. When the day suddenly turned into something.
A
Oh, let's
hickey?
see what happened.
You've never been friends with Ann Tolliver, and you've always wanted to be.
Hi. Hi. Some of the crowd's coming over to my house right after school.
The
Do you
crowd.
think you two
As
could
long
make
as you're
it?
not ugly or
Yes.
smelly.
Ann, I'd love to. Swell. Well, what do you say, Bobby? Sure, thanks. Okay, see you later. Bye.
Well, we don't want weird girls
Fun,
there.
won't it? Oh, yes. Oh, bye.
So who do you think's more popular,
Each
Helen or
school year
Barbara?
sees
Helen.
new groups
Yeah.
forming, old ones reforming. Yours is a changing social world.
such a bad
and the
spot.
opportunities
It's a
to
horrible
be
spot.
part
How
of
do
it
you
must
get
be
that?
taken when
Don't
they
managers
arrive.
at McDonald's wear those now?
You knew this
Those little
afternoon that you were
neckerchiefs?
making a bad impression, and you knew how easy it is not to be invited again,
Mm-hmm.
and how quickly you can be left out of the crowd. You were embarrassed by your messy hair and the
All you have to
fingernails
do-
She took
you
off
had
her
neglected
scarf.
to clean.
All you have
Why'd
to
you
do
take
is
off
be
your
dumb
scarf?
and greasy like Barbara. Without good habit plans.
You worried about the spots on your sweater, Barbara. But what really showed up were your habits.
Although everyone
You
saw
didn't
the
find it
spots
very
too.
pleasant comparing yourself
And they
with
judged
the
you for
others.
them.
What? I said, what do you think?
You weren't
Oh,
listening.
You weren't listening.
You seldom do. It's a habit of yours.
And now the acid's
I
kicking
guess I
in,
don't know
Barbara.
much about it.
They were talking
You're
about
on a bad
popular
trip.
book. All your friends were interested, but you never got into the habit of reading books.
Oh, she
Hey.
doesn't even read
Problem
books.
was that Claudia wanted to be free to do all the things she'd never been allowed to do. Well, that was her whole
There's
reason
past
for leaving
hors d'oeuvres
the
at an
family. She married
after-school
back to the
party?
same kind of
of
Yep.
life.
What is
That's why I think the book's...
Well, you got to. This is the age of the stay-at-home, like the housewife.
No,
You know.
no,
So
nothing
what else
to
did the
that
mom have to do all day
conversation.
besides drink and make hors d'oeuvres for her
The
daughter's
trouble
party?
with me is getting started. I
I bet you she had a good habit plan to accomplish all of
Same
that.
way. I didn't even want to
I
go
need
to
a
my
good
first
habit
concert
plan.
because I thought it would be too long-haired. Oh, but the music is wonderful. I'm going to go to the whole series. My mother had to drag me to the museum.
Where's Helen? I want to see Helen
They
again.
have
I'm
a
tired of
wonderful
Barbara. I
costume
don't like
exhibit
Barbara.
there.
Barbara.
I got an idea
Barbara.
for a new dress.
Oh, what
Actually, it would probably be more
Helen.
Interest in music
Yeah.
or politics or art.
She's only interested in having bad habit.
Like
Relevant.
a rubber band. We all like to talk about ourselves. But a
I don't.
soliloquy isn't a conversation. First, you didn't talk at all. And
Bobby
then
says
you did
Barbara
all
took the brown
talking.
acid.
Conversation is a two-way street. But for you, it's either one way or a dead end.
Actually, you know what's funny is we have a segment coming up in a little bit where I give almost that exact same advice.
Bye, Barbara. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Bye, Barbara.
Stupid
In
Barbara.
all society, at all
She
ages,
won't be invited
we
back.
know that
I'm just
going
gonna
to
sit here and grumble Barbara, Barbara,
Barbara,
Barbara,
Barbara,
Barbara, Barbara,
Unfortunately,
Barbara,
our
Barbara.
faults are often more discussed than our good points. And sometimes our
Uh-oh, they're
good
gonna
points are
talk
completely
about her. That's
hidden
not
by
polite
our
of them.
faults. But perhaps worst of all is our own disappointment in ourselves.
Barbara.
And the remarks we imagine our friends are making about us.
I'm way too into this.
Gee, I think dirty fingernails are horrible.
So that's what was making her cry? What she was imagining people were saying about her?
Yes.
Get a grip, Barbara.
Bad manners are still bad manners no matter what you call
Be a
them.
Helen.
I
Don't be a
wanna
Barbara.
I want to be a Barbara.
The memory of this day stands.
You want to know how you
between
fix
and your
things,
whole
Barbara?
pattern of
Stop being
behavior.
Barbara. Become Helen.
Where will you start?
Take her hair.
Your complexion?
Oh, she's
Weave it
changing
into a
things.
wig.
That starts with soap
Put
and
on Helen's
water,
hair.
and
Put
goes
on Helen's
to
clothes.
regular
Move into Helen's
meals and
house.
the right kind of
Take over
food.
her life. That's the
Your
only way
hair?
now.
It's more than just a shampoo when you happen to think of it. Your clothes, not just
I only
clean
shampoo
your
when I
mother
happen
takes
to
them
think of
away
it.
from you,
Luckily,
but a
I happen
system
to think of it in the
cleaning.
shower mostly.
For all a
What's she
pattern,
doing?
a network of habits.
Looking for
Helen
Romeo.
checks her clothes for cleaning when she
No,
takes them
she's
off.
looking out at Helen's house.
That's
She's
a
like,
habit of hers.
I'm coming.
This morning,
She just
Helen
wore
took
that.
her skirt from the front of
This
the
is not a
closet.
positive thing.
Tonight, she hangs it in the back. That's a habit too.
No, but Helen doesn't sweat
One on the
either.
plus side.
Apparently.
It
Hel-
gives
Helen
clothes
doesn't
a
sweat
chance
because
to
she's
hang,
Helen and she's perfect.
rests the fabric. Tonight, Helen makes a plan for tomorrow. What to wear, what
Oh,
to
and
do,
Wynn says
when
this
to
is
do it,
this is the drunk
designed for
episode yet.
living.
Very soon.
Helen has
what
the
I
habit
answered her.
of being
I
ready
did.
for
No, that's
special
what I-
days.
Yeah, I know. I read that.
Oh, okay. I was like, that was a while ago.
See, Helen's gonna go to bed and she's gonna get exactly 8 hours sleep, no more, no less. She's gonna have exactly 3.2 dreams.
3.2 dreams.
And she's
Good
going to grow
habits
an
save
eighth of an
time
inch,
and energy.
like she does every
Oh,
night.
but
Give us
she's
greater
reading in
freedom
bed.
to do those
She'll be a
extra
giant
things we
within 3
want to
months.
do.
Barbara, you still
Bobby
love-
says Helen doesn't sweat; she glistens.
True.
Nope.
Oh,
still
oh.
not Helen. You'll never be Helen.
Oh, there she goes. She's picking it up.
Surprise! There's a landmine under the robe. Don't pick it up! Don't pick it up! Bye, Barbara. It was your own stupid mistake, just like always, Barbara.
Barbara.
I'm sure the young actress who played Barbara is a fine young person.
Across the street,
She's just
Helen's
playing
light
a
goes
very
out.
unappealing character.
Reasonable hours
See,
are part of her pattern.
I told you that she was
And
checking her
you-
out
Oh, I
across
knew
the
she
street.
was doing that.
Well, you've had a hard day. But staying awake to think about it won't help it any.
Go to
to
bed,
early for
Barbara.
a change. Give yourself a good start on a new day.
Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna sleep too. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, we're doing a show. Oops.
Doing things.
What are we doing? What's going on
happening?
here? No, but that was fun.
That was hilarious.
I definitely enjoyed that.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, and I think the chat room did too,
I
which
hope
is
so.
always good.
Good things.
What are we even doing now?
I don't have any idea.
I want to slam Barbara again. I just want to keep talking about Barbara the entire episode.
Oh, please don't.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break here in a minute, but before we do, we wanted to mention. We thought it would be nice to tell you guys the origins of please and thank you, the words and their usage and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'll just show this here real quick. We pulled this from the book Debt the First 5,000 Years by David Graeber, I believe, and we'll have a link in the show notes at universebox.com. But I guess I'll go ahead and I'll read the origin of please, and then you want to read the origin of thank you?
Sure.
Okay, the English please is short for if you please, if it pleases you to do this. It is the same in most European languages. Its literal meaning is you are under no obligation to do this. Hand me the salt. Not that I'm saying you have to. Not that I'm saying you have to. This is not true. There is a social obligation, and it would be almost impossible not to comply. But etiquette largely consists of the exchange of polite fictions, to use the polite language lie, or the less polite language lies.
Wow.
When you ask someone to pass you the salt, you are also giving them an order. By attaching the word please, you are saying it is not an order, but in fact it actually is.
English, much obliged. It actually does mean I am in your debt. The French merci is even more graphic. It derives from mercy, as in begging for mercy.
Merci, merci.
Merci, merci. By saying that you are symbolically placing yourself in your benefactor's power, since a debtor is, after all, a criminal. Saying you're welcome or it's nothing. French, de rien, Spanish, de nada. I also can't speak any of these languages, so sorry if I'm offending
Oh,
anyone.
I think everyone understood that.
Yeah, I'm sure it was pretty obvious. The latter has at least the advantage of often being literally true. Is a way of reassuring the one to whom one has passed the salt. Oh, good grief, we're back to the salt. That you are not actually inscribing a debit in your imaginary moral account book. It is saying, my pleasure. You are saying, no, actually, it's a credit, not a debit. Seriously, you did me a favor because in asking me to pass the salt, you gave me the opportunity to do something I found rewarding in itself. Yes, please let me pass all of the salt.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Please.
Not a problem.
And thank you. These are the magic words. No, but basically it boils down to please and thank you are both ways to make it seem like you care about the other person while giving them orders or doing something kind of selfish too. Always fun. All right, so next up we're going to tell you a little bit about a contest we're running over on Greetings from Storybrooke. Then Anne-Marie is going to tell us how to make an impression at a dinner party. So we'll be back in just a few. Greetings from Storybrooke. I'm Bill Meeks.
And I'm Anne-Marie DeSimone.
And we're here to announce our Greetings from Storybrooke Regal Con test. If you don't know what Regal Con is, it's a convention they're having this year in Anaheim, California, May 8th through 10th, that focuses on the Once Upon a Time fandom. Now, there's going to be a lot of oncers there, and a lot of cast members, too, like Emily DeRaven, Sean McGuire,
many dwarves.
And Rebecca Mader will be there, August, all sorts of people.
That's right. August will be there.
Thanks to you guys. Thanks to our patrons. We're going to be able to cover my plane ticket and my hotel room, just off of you guys' donations that you've made over at patreon.com/universebox. Thank you
guys.
So much.
Really appreciate it.
And we're definitely going to be bringing you back a lot of exclusive content. We should be doing some interviews, some special panels out there. We'll be talking to you guys, the Once Upon a Time fans and everything. In order to get Anne-Marie to the convention, not only do we have to cover her airfare, but we also have to pay for a babysitter for the kids. But we'd love to have her go out there and help with the interviews and be on panels and interact with all of you guys. So we've come up with a fun way to kind of try and finance this. We want to see you there, which is why we're throwing the Greetings from Storybrooke Regal Contest. So 2 prizes. The grand prize, the 3-day general admission ticket to RegalCon 2015, and the runner-up prize, which is a beautiful Rumpelstiltskin stand-in like we have right back here.
Now, there are 3 ways for you to enter the RegalCon test. First is by making a one-time donation. There should be a pretty little button right around here.
Yeah, and you can make a donation right through YouTube,
right through
here.
YouTube. Second is to donate to our Patreon or to up your donation if you're a current patron. And patron donations start at 10 cents.
The grand prize
is worth $139.
$139 for 10 cents? That's a good entry, right?
I think that's a good deal.
But, if you don't want to spend money directly, we completely understand, and that's completely fine. So we have a 3rd way to enter, too.
Send us a postcard.
Very
because
easy.
Our, where is it? Thing here is pretty empty still. Send us something to put in the frame and you'll be entered to win both of the prizes
Yes,
as well.
that will definitely count as an entry, which is good. And you can send it to this address right here that we'll put right
Please
here.
give me an address.
Right there. Yes, you have to enter quickly because we want to give everyone, the grand prize winner, we want to give them time to make travel arrangements, hotel arrangements, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to cut off entries midnight on April the 8th. Then what we'll do on April 9th is we'll go ahead and draw the grand prize winner, and we'll contact them privately and give them 24 hours to either accept or decline. If they accept, fine, we're off to the races, and we'll do a second draw for the Rumpel standout, or stand-in, stand-up. But if they reject it or they don't respond, we're going to go ahead and pull another grand prize winner and keep going like that until we find someone who wants to do it, and then, make a second draw for the runner-up. If you win the general admission ticket, we're going to take you out for dinner and drinks or something too. Just hang out for a little bit, everything.
You have to. I mean,
Definitely.
if you're coming to a convention, you've got to enjoy yourself.
Okay, so like we said, 2 prizes, 1 general admission ticket, free of charge to RegalCon 2015 that they've graciously provided us, and 1 Rumpelstiltskin stand-up cutout cardboard guy, like we have in the background of all of our episodes of Greetings from Storybrooke. Get your entry in by April 8th to enter, and we hope to see you at the con.
Hello, this is Anne-Marie with Universe Box, and today I'm going to teach you how to be rude and disrespectful at a friend's dinner party. First, the invitation. If you receive your dinner request in the mail, quickly scan the invitation before placing it in the trash. Sometimes it's okay to be an asshole. If an invitation is extended to you on the phone or in person, simply grunt, and change the subject. My dick. When the invitee inquires whether or not you will be attending the dinner party, since you missed the stated RSVP deadline, inform them that you are scheduled to take a hot yoga class at that time, but you will do your best to attend. Next comes the event prep. You wrap up your hot yoga class just in time to make it to the dinner party. As you are leaving the studio, a few of your fellow yogis invite you out for organic kale smoothies. Decline, but invite them to the dinner party. What's 3 extra mouths to feed? None of you should worry about changing or freshening up prior to going to the party. I don't give a shit. Next, the arrival. You arrive at the dinner party half an hour after it was scheduled to begin. No worries. Just walk on in with your 3 sweaty friends and pass out big bear hugs. Make sure that you mention that one of your friends is a vegan, another has a gluten allergy, and they will be unable to eat the chicken pot pie that was prepared. And do you possibly have an arugula salad with walnuts and cranberries that they could eat? Oh, and guest number 3 is in AA, so we should probably take the wine bottles off of the table. Number 4, the consumption of the foods. Go to town, grab handfuls of food and chow down. Make sure you properly season each bite with salt, pepper, and ketchup. Do not worry about disturbing others while they are eating to pass you things. Just reach across the table and help yourself. This will help facilitate the flow of conversation. Be sure to loudly ask your host where the gluten-free vegan dishes are for your guests and why the wine has yet to be cleared from the table. Your alcoholic friend is starting to drool looking at the Chardonnay. Help yourself to a double dessert, and don't worry about the chocolate sauce that you have dripped on the antique tablecloth. I'm sure your host's grandmother wouldn't mind. 5. The departure. When you have had your fill, stand up, grab an extra dessert to go, and walk out the front door without saying a word. No one wants to be bothered with goodbyes anyway. Finally, the thank you. This step is not needed. Just show up again next Sunday around the same time. They mentioned something about having rabbit, deviled eggs, and scalloped potatoes. If you follow these steps, you are sure to have a great dining experience with your friends that is rude and disrespectful. And if you don't like it, you.
Jeez, Anne-Marie. Little rough and tumble
And
there.
if you don't like it,
ding. Ding, ding. Okay, so we're back.
We're back.
Next up, we're going to open up the toolbox. And in this week's toolbox, we're going to give you guys a few solid tips that'll keep you from looking like a jerk online. Because, it's a social media world, and social media manners are Super important.
Super important.
Anne-Marie, why don't you go ahead and give us our first tip?
All right. Number 1, read your posts out loud. Sometimes the way things sound in our heads doesn't reflect how they sound to somebody's ear. This can lead to misunderstandings. Reading your post out loud is in a calm and neutral tone is a great way to check for tone problems before sending it off.
All right, now next step number 2.
Wait 5 minutes. If somebody's post upsets you, your response will probably be quick and passionate. Passion is good, but speaking without thinking can lead to unfriending online.
I call that spanking.
Spinking. If you're pretty peeved, take 5 minutes, go do something else. You'll probably calm down and find a way to respond that reflects your point of view without making a big deal of it. I would just like to say the wait 5 minutes has saved me from many bad decisions.
Yeah, that and
yesterday, in fact.
So sometimes I'll also tell you, like when I see you getting embroiled in something online, I'll be like, disengage. Disengage.
Yes, if you saw yesterday, I will not feed the troll. That was me.
Yeah, basically. Okay, let's see here. Number 3 is filter your friends. Now, it might sound weird. Stick with me. We all have friends and family members that we love dearly, but we don't really give a fig about. But they don't really give a fig about civil online discourse. Now, many Twitter clients provide filters for certain keywords. So if there's a big news story or whatever that people are talking about that you don't feel like hearing about, you can do that. But you can also do it right through Twitter's website. Basically what you do, there's a little gear icon up in the upper right-hand corner. You click on that, and then you click on mute, and you can follow them without seeing their stuff pop up in your timeline, saving you the frustration, getting the negative stuff out of your face so it doesn't affect you. You don't get into fights, whatever. You can also do this with Facebook by clicking on the little triangle arrow in the upper right of any post, and then clicking unfollow.
Oh, okay. Well, you can do that by post. You can actually unfollow a person without defriending them or unliking a page.
Yeah.
You can just not have them show up.
To where they won't show up there. And you can also, there are a lot more granular options in a great Chrome extension that I use. I think you use it too, Anne-Marie, called Social Fixer. And we'll have the link for that in our show notes. So definitely check that out. A word of warning, though, filtering things out of that you don't like can kind of trap you in sort of a bubble to where you don't get any outside diverse opinions or perspectives. So, this should probably be used as a last resort, kind of if I don't filter these people out on Facebook, then we're probably not going to be friends anymore. Then you do this. So you don't do this, oh, he said he liked X movie and I didn't like X movie. I'm going to block him or filter them out or whatever.
But you can filter them out, but they can still see your things to comment on.
Mm-hmm.
So
which is a good compromise.
That still brings, that around. Yeah. Sorry. I just have lots to say about that one.
Oh, no problem. Okay, and then the next tip is to take a social media vacation. Sometimes the best way to clean up your social profile is to abandon them. Not forever, but I usually take about a week. Social media is gamified. It encourages you to use it. So the more you use it, the more you'll want to use it. Mm-hmm. This can lead to lower quality posts. You put less thought into them. It waters them down. Mm-hmm. Now, why can... let's see. Let me read what I wrote here. Why consider what you're posting when you're posting so much anyway? But stepping away for, like I said, I do it for about a week, can break the habit. And it can also help separate you from other negativity you might see on your feed, which might be making your post more negative too. And you can return with a positive mindset. And if you're don't have your nose in your phone for the entire week, then you're going to have a lot of new interesting experiences to talk about. Maybe you read a book, maybe you watched a movie, maybe you ran a marathon, maybe you made up your own social media network on a piece of notebook paper because you missed the actual one so much. Who knows? But here's the last one, tip number 5.
Don't only chime in when you have something to say. Life is busy, and sometimes we tend to open up a social site, post something, then close it immediately without even reading what our friends have to say. Take time to read other people's content and make sure to favorite, like, or comment if you see a friend having a bad day. Online relationships are still relationships, and you get out of it what you put in. Absolutely true. Especially learned that one with the whole blogging and podcasting world. That's where you can see a lot of that.
Yeah, it's about engagement. It's not about getting those follower numbers up or those favorite numbers up or those retweets up necessarily. It's about going in there and making a human connection over social media. So those are just a few things you can do. I mean, I know the world runs at its own pace and everything, and you can't correct for all the negativity out there online and stuff, but these are ways that you can kind of tailor your online persona to appear like less of a jerk. Not that I'm saying you're a jerk.
Yes, you are.
Okay, next up is the idea box. And if you don't know what the idea box is, basically what we do, we have a form up at universebox.com/ideabox where you guys can go and ask questions based around our topic, and we answer them here. And you can also throw in ideas you have for show notes and things like, or show topics and things like that too at universebox.com/ideabox. And we got 3 this week. What's the first one, Anne-Marie, is what's the most impolite thing you do on a daily basis?
Ignore people.
Ignore people?
Yeah. Specifically the small people in the house who don't stop talking ever.
Yeah, and it would be one thing if they were talking about something real, but they are talking about something they care about, but it's like listing Pokemon.
Pokemon! There was also...
I'm gonna be the very best.
See, I would actually be cool with it if they started singing or performing something, but child number 3 has taken to dragging me into different rooms to reenact things. Mommy, hurry, come quick, mommy, come quick, and I walk in. Do you see this triangle? I don't see the triangle. This is the conversation that I get. I'm like, I'm going to go back to Facebook.
Yeah, Thanks. Not a really in-depth conversation.
No, not really. What is the most impolite thing you do on a daily basis?
Okay, I guess this could be classed as a confession, but it's impolite. But I generally do it when I'm by myself, so it's probably not so impolite. On occasion, like I'll scratch my nose and I'll get like a booger and like I'll flick it, which isn't that bad.
That's really not that bad.
It's pretty impolite though. Like I wouldn't do that around people, but if I'm like walking down the street on my lunch break walk or something, and I'm like, oh, something weird, just like that. Now I feel ashamed. Okay, Anne-Marie, how polite is too polite?
Oh, you can cross that line. You can cross that line. You don't have to be the first person to offer to do something for everybody. Like, you don't have to be the first one to like every single picture, like stop putting the notifications on people. You don't have to be the first one to volunteer to do this for you and do this for you and do this for you and then complain about you're too busy. Like, I don't know. What do you got? Because that was a horrible answer, but it's what you get.
Well, see, like I don't know. Oh, by the way, Tondagasa said I muted him. I did not mute Tondagasa on Twitter. Just for the record. For the record. Tondagasa's done some great Dog Boy fan art, actually, which is fun.
Ooh.
But I don't really know where the line is, but I know I get accused of this a lot. Like when I go and I'm a guest at someone's house, like if I ask them for a drink, or like, if I ask them if I can have a drink, or if I ask them, please, where's the restroom, stuff like that. I'm usually super polite, especially if it's in the first like 20 or 30 times I'm over at someone's house or something like that.
You don't go to anybody's house that many times.
It takes a long time for me to like
be comfortable.
Yeah, to be comfortable enough to be like, yeah. I'm gonna go around and get my own drinks. I'm gonna raid your refrigerator, all that kind of stuff. Nice. But yeah, I don't know where the line is, but I guess I cross it quite a bit.
Do you?
Yeah, I guess. I've heard people have told me that a lot.
I could see that
in my life. Okay, and Anne-Marie, last question: did you receive any etiquette training? No,
not
at all.
Obviously, I'm going to be rude. No, and I really would love to go to charm school and go to a cotillion and all this stuff like Wynn was saying that they have in Virginia. I would love to have done that.
Yeah,
I would totally. I would have to wear the dresses and have the perfect hair and all of that. The sweaters and the pearls. I love that whole thing. Like, my pearls are from Italy, actually.
Nice.
So, I don't know. I kind of enjoy that stuff. I know you didn't.
Actually,
you did?
I did actually.
Hilarious.
When I was 8 or 9 years old, I can't remember exactly when. I was 8 years old because we were living on Fincastle. My mom went to this big Baptist, independent Baptist church seminar and came back with this big workbook for me. It was probably about 200 pages. It was done up like those cheap jobs you can get at Kinko's where it has like the black plastic spirally rings and stuff in it. And it was called Christian Manhood.
Oh.
And it actually didn't focus too much on religion. It was more about like cleaning your fingernails and brushing your teeth and don't smoke and, here are ways to be polite. Basically, it was the guy version of that one we looked at earlier. That
Oh, nice.
yeah, more or less. So yeah, that was the extent of my training. So let's see here.
She handed you a pamphlet and walked away.
Basically, Scotty Rowland says my manners school was getting smacked in the back of the head when not saying ma'am or sir, which is always
Okay,
fun.
and that's totally either a military or a Southern thing. It's both, because up north you don't really get the ma'ams and sirs very much. Back in college, I dated somebody in the military, and he ma'amed me frequently, and I really was like, "You need to stop this. This is really a problem." And then we moved here to the Georgia. And everybody ma'ams and sirs, and I've noticed I correct the children when they don't ma'am and sir.
Yeah, it was
hilarious.
It was pretty common in Texas too.
Well, it's Texas. Yeah.
It's like a whole nother country.
Yeah, seriously is.
Okay, let's see. So I guess it's time to find out what's going to be in the box for next week. What
Oh,
could it be?
What could be?
What could it be?
What could it be now?
What's in the box?
This is the clue.
Yes. Glass.
Glass. It's
Brown glass. Next week is brown glass on Universe Box. Let's get into the box. What is in the box?
We need a song here. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Bam.
Yep. Next week on Universe Box, we're getting wasted at least twice. Bottoms up. Pour me a whiskey. We're getting drunk.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. Scared me a little. Drunk. D-R-U-N-K, drunk. So what's your favorite drink? Ever get busted drinking by your folks? How many empty bottles did you have in your dorm room, lining the walls or whatever? Tell us about the first time you got tipsy. We're talking drunk next week on Universe Box, and this one is going to be major. And we're actually doing, just to let you guys know, we're doing a little bit of prep work on it, a little pre-production on it. This Saturday at 9 p.m. EST, we're going to be live streaming a musical artist who's I've known for years now, a good friend of mine.
Some of our following people.
Yeah, we'll know. Ali Spagnola, she has what's called the Power Hour album, where basically it's a song per minute, a 1 minute song for 60 minutes. Yes. So that's the game we're going to play. We're going to record it all live, and then I'm going to edit down the best 20 for the podcast next week. But we'd love to have an active chat.
Yes, please. Because, the first first 15 minutes at least of doing any sort of drinking game event is usually pretty... So we're drinking.
Yeah, and we're drinking, and we're drinking, and we're drinking.
And we're drinking. So there's that.
Plus, we might even try and do some call-ins and stuff like that, too. Could be fun. So if you guys want to play the game along with us, that would be awesome.
Who wants to play Virtual Power Hour?
But it'll be at live.universebox.com this Saturday, which is April 4th at 9 p.m. EST.
Making it a little later.
And don't miss it. And even if you don't drink...
join us and have some lemonade.
Yeah.
Don't have iced tea. Apparently somebody injured their liver.
Kidneys.
With kidneys?
Yeah, their kidneys shut down. But, if you have any drunk stories you want to go ahead and send us, we'd love to hear them. We didn't get much this week as far as... You guys didn't have many manner stories. That's okay. But you can email us, universeboxshow@gmail.com. You can tweet us at universe_box. The Facebook is facebook.com/theuniversebox. And the voicemail number is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. And like I said, we only have one piece of feedback this week.
I forgot about that.
And yeah, it's actually concerning our episode last week on Nickelodeon. And Bobby says he'll call in for the drinking game.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so Michael Lucero says, "Hey, y'all. I thought this was one of the better episodes of the podcast so far, and not just because I was on it. If you didn't watch, Michael did one of the stickly pitches. Yeah. Your discussions made me think of all sorts of Nickelodeon memories I have. Just a few thoughts on some. I used to love all that, so I was sad it didn't hold up. The Good Burger movie that spun off the show was my absolute favorite movie in the world for the duration of one summer.
But that still gained favorite status. Yeah. I have yet to sit through the entire thing.
It's because it came on an orange VHS tape. If you remember, Nickelodeon always did that. I bought the VHS tape. The tape was neon Nickelodeon orange, of course. Nice. I hadn't read that, actually. And the soundtrack and Son, I'm a Dude for most of 1997. What is it? I'm a dude. She's a dude. He's a dude. Because we're all dudes. I'm glad to hear that Anne-Marie knows of and is a fan of David the Gnome. She's one of my favorite people I know who actually remembers that show's existence. It was one of my favorites of all time when it was on.
Yes.
Alex Mack was also a favorite show when I was a bit older, although one I hardly ever watched. Not sure why. Maybe it had something to do with when it was on versus when I got home from school.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Legends of the Hidden Temple was probably the best game show ever on television, at least in my memory. I can't believe there wasn't a more than a spare mention of Salute Your Shorts. Although when Bill said that Hey Dude doesn't hold up, it made me wonder if maybe the same is true of that.
I could see that.
Yeah, I actually haven't gone back and seen...
I meant that was almost my Wonder Box, but then we decided to do the game show thing.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I see Scotty Rowland in the chat room mentioning no Bobby voicemail. I know.
No. Oh, yes, for the show today.
Yeah,
Yep.
no Bobby voicemail for the first
But
time
he's going
in
to
a long
call
time.
in for the drunk.
Yeah, so that'll make up for it.
That helps.
Okay, and then Michael continues. Lastly, I have to second the recommendation of Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legends of Korra.
I'm glad you know what those mean.
Some of the best cartoon storytelling I've ever seen. I don't think you need to be an anime fan to enjoy it either. While it uses a lot of Asian cultural influences and is animated by the Korean studios, it's definitely not anime. It usually doesn't look like anime, and they don't hardly use any of the same usual anime storytelling devices. Its substance and sensibility are Asian, but its bones and structure are solidly Western. There's something really great. There's some really great world building in these shows too, with the element bending and hybrid animals. Not to mention that Bill would totally love Sokka's sense of humor. A great job on the episode, Michael Lucero. Thank you very much,
Thank you, Michael.
And as I mentioned, you can email us any thoughts on drunk. Everyone has a good drunk story.
Everybody's got a good drinking story.
So seriously, like if we don't have 25 minutes of listener feedback next week, we're canceling the show.
No, we're not.
We're not actually canceling the show.
Really do that.
But we'd love to hear your drunk stories. Email universeboxshow@gmail.com. Tweet us at universe_box. The Facebook is facebook.com/theuniversebox. And the voicemail number is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. And Bobby says he didn't know what to add for manners. That's what I assumed.
That's fine. That's totally fair because, not gonna lie, manners is a little difficult.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna have a short episode for a while, but it ended up turning out really nice.
We're right on time.
Exactly. Okay, so we have a couple takeaways this episode.
Oh,
okay,
yes.
so first off, what's considered polite or impolite is constantly changing.
True story.
It never hurts to be polite. And this is from Emily Post.
Nope, Miss Manners.
No, I
was wrong?
Yeah, I was wrong.
Good.
It's from Emily Post. A quote: "Manners are a sensitive awareness of the feelings of others. If you have that awareness, you have good manners no matter what fork you use." And no, seriously, is this the right fork or not? I'm not sure. Should I eat a salad with this?
What are you trying to eat with that fork?
Cereal?
I think it's a dinner fork.
I think I need a spoon, actually.
Spoon!
Okay, Amber, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at DeSimone, or if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm at CCHCblog because I refuse to change that one back.
And as for me, you can follow me on Twitter at Bill Meeks. You can follow the books I write at dogboyadventures.com. And actually, if you want to, tomorrow night, Friday at 8:30 p.m. EST, we're going to be recording a little spoiler party for Gotham. If you listen to our podcast, Legends of Gotham, you can find that at legendsofgotham.com. And you can find everything we do at universebox.com. Okay, well, I guess that does it for another wonderful
rousing episode of Universe Box.
So until next time,
remember to think outside.
I just love this album art. I love.
She looks like something stinks.
You can kind of see some veins in her right eye, though. It's kind of creepy, just a little bit.
Okay, I don't want to look that close.
Okay, thank you guys so much. As always, a complete and total blast. Yes, it is totally a battle fork.
No, we have bigger forks. There is a bigger fork upstairs, and I think it could kill someone on its own.
Yeah, but I hope we can see some of you guys out on Saturday for the drinking game.
Yes,
too.
it looks like Scotty has a family egg hunt. Apparently, he's going for the golden egg.
Scotty, you're always letting your family get in the way of our relationship. It's getting kind of old here. Honestly.
I mean, we only record like 5 nights a week. No.
Yeah, but hopefully some of you guys can check it out. And it will be, just so you know, it will be uncensored.
Yes.
And we'll edit in the censors.
You cannot censor me when I'm drinking alcohols.
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 Okay, talk to you later, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.